in a courtroom filled with powerful personalities, in a courtroom filled with powerful personalities, loud arguments, and explosive confrontations. One man built his reputation differently. No shouting, no theatrics, no emotional outburst, just precision, just timing, just pressure. And that man is Advocate Charles Mnisi. Representing accused number 3, Mthobisi Mncube, Mnisi emerged as one of the most dangerous legal minds in the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial. Not because he was the loudest, but because he understood something many people missed. Court cases are not won by noise, they are won by strategy. Today, we revisit the most powerful moments of Advocate Mnisi inside Judge Ratha Mokgoatlheng's courtroom. Okay? And why many now call him the silent assassin of the defense team. This is the courtroom story of Advocate Charles Mnisi. Let's get into it. All right. So the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial has become one of South Africa's most watched criminal trials in this time, okay, in this millennium times, okay? Every day brought new drama, new contradictions, and new courtroom warfare. That's what we experience on a daily basis. The prosecution fought to prove its case, the defense fought to destroy it, and in the middle of that war stood Judge Ratha Mokgoatlheng, known for his sharp tongue, brutal interruptions, and zero tolerance for wasted time when it comes to the defense lawyers, of course. Don't forget that. Many lawyers struggled under that pressure, but Charles Mnisi, he adapted. He studied the battlefield. He studied Judge Ratha Mokgoatlheng. He studied the state, which is the prosecutors. He was like, oh, okay, I see you. I see what you guys are doing here. All right. And then he picked his moments very carefully, Kesan. Firstly, he's a calm operator, or Advocate Mnisi. What made Mnisi different from the beginning was his temperament. He was calm, dangerously calm. Even when the courtroom became chaotic, Mnisi rarely lost control. While others fought emotionally, Mnisi played a slower game. I'm not saying he has never lost his control. Hear me out. I'm not saying he has never lost his control. Hear me out. But I'm saying even the courtroom became chaotic. When the courtroom became chaotic, sometimes Mnisi really lost his control. Not that he has never lost it, no. While others fought emotionally, Mnisi played a slower game, a more calculated game. He listened carefully. He observed every witness, every contradiction, every weakness. And then, when the right moment came, he struck. That is what made him so dangerous. Not aggression, precision. Mnisi understood that every witness carries pressure. Sometimes all you need is patience, and the truth starts collapsing by itself. That is one of the things that Advocate Mnisi understands. Secondly, destroying police credibility. When it comes to this one, Number one, one of Mnisi's strongest performances came during cross-examination of police witnesses. This is where he became truly dangerous. He focused heavily on procedure, arrests, statements, interrogations, chain of evidence, and once he began digging, serious cracks started appearing. Contradictions surfaced, witness gave conflicting versions, important details became unclear. Mnisi pushed a simple but devastating question: can this investigation truly be trusted? That question hit hard because the defense understands something important. If the investigation is flawed, then the entire case becomes vulnerable. Mnisi used discipline and pressure to expose those weaknesses, and every inconsistency gave the defense more ammunition. That is what was happening there. The third part, standing up to the judge, that is one of my favorites, okay, when it comes to Nisi. That one is one of my favorite. Now, let's talk about something very important. Judge Rata Mokgoatlheng is not an easy judge to appear before. He challenges lawyers aggressively. He interrupts defense lawyers, that is, okay? He demands speed from defense lawyers. He demands precision when it comes to defense lawyers. Many lawyers crack under that environment, but Mnisi had powerful moments where he stood his ground respectfully, professionally, but firmly so. And I like that about him. He never appeared intimidated. That stood out for me. And because in this courtroom of Judge Rata Mokgoatlheng, confidence matters, Mnisi showed that he was prepared. He knows his work. His job is important to him, and he knows the law, and also he reads. He reads. So he showed us that preparation creates power because you will always understand things better. You could see it in how he responded to Judge Rata at times, measured, sharp, focused, no panic. That composure and respect from a lot of people in South Africa because of how he treated things in that courtroom. Yes, sometimes there are days that you are like, but most of the time is proper. Number 4, defending accused number 3. We will talk about him defending accused number 1. Another major moment came during courtroom. Another major moment came during courtroom tensions involving the accused. Emotions were high. Do you remember back in 2023, it was November, if I'm not mistaken, when there was that fight that broke inside the courtroom between the accused 3, 4, and 5, and Mr. Jele, the warden. Yes. Do you remember that drama? The emotions were very high for starters. The environment became volatile. And this is not ordinary courtroom drama for sure, but this was chaotic, son. But something that caught my attention, Judge Rata, as much as when it came to that, Judge Rata Mokgoatlheng behaved in a manner he was like, you don't want them to sit? Come on, Ubuntu. I like that about him. And during that chaos, Mnisi immediately protected his client's position. He made sure the court understood accused number 3's perspective. He acted fast. He acted decisively. That matters a lot because defense lawyers have one core duty: protect the client at all costs, within the law, by the way, not outside the law, at all costs within the law. Mnisi showed his loyalty and sharp instincts during that moment because Sana, when pressure rose, he did not froze, he moved, he pressed forward, and he did what a good lawyer does. That was Mnisi for me. Now, we call him the silent assassin, but at the same time, he's that silent rain. We call him Mnisi Wemvula, meaning that the pouring of the rain. Okay, so he's that silent rain. It pours, but silently. Do you understand? That is him. And this is why many people now describe him as the silent assassin. Not flashy, not dramatic, just effective. Very effective, if you ask me. His power lies in control. Control of emotions, control of arguments, control of timing, and the timing changes everything. The loudest voice in court is not always the most dangerous. Sometimes the most dangerous person is the quiet one. The one watching, the one calculating, the one waiting for the perfect opening. That is Advocate Charles Mnisi, a legal chess player, always thinking 3 moves ahead, and he knows what he is doing. He has proven it time and again. And also, finally, one of the things that I have noticed about him. So, what is that brutal truth about Advocate Charles Mnisi? You want to know? His greatest strength is strategic discipline. He understands pressure. He understands timing. And most importantly, he understands doubt. Oh, he does. In criminal law, the defense does not need to prove innocence. They only need to create reasonable doubt. And Mnisi knows exactly how to attack weak evidence to create that doubt. His weaknesses, sometimes his style is too technical for casual viewers. He is not the most explosive person. He is not the most explosive personality, but he can be very explosive when he wants to. He doesn't always create viral moments, but inside a courtroom, that can be a huge advantage because while everyone is watching a drama, Mnisi is watching the case, and that is dangerous. Not just dangerous, very dangerous. So tell me, wherever you are sitting, is Advocate Charles Mnisi one of the strongest defense lawyers in the Senzo Meyiwa trial, or is he quiet style? Is his quiet style overrated? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Let's have a discussion. And if you want more brutal courtroom analysis on the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial, subscribe now. What are you waiting for? Because this case is far from over until this year ends. I'm sure we are still going to be around doing this. Thank you so much. I'll see you on our next video. Bye-bye.